My name is Gina Anderson, and I have taught for 5 years, 3 years at Concord Christian. And the reason I teach at CCS is because it allows me to use a biblical worldview in the classroom. I teach history and U.S. history specifically, and it is so much fun to bring in all of these characters from U.S. history, being able to teach the kids about sin, how it entered the world, tell the whole redemption story, tell them how all man has fallen. It doesn't matter if they were Native Americans or Europeans coming from Europe. All man has fallen and fallen short of the glory of God. And so even telling the redemption story through history is one key reason that I teach at CCS. They are way too much fun. I get to challenge them to think critically, which is something many of them have not learned to do yet. So we take a lot of time at the beginning of the year and we work through a critical thinking path so that when they get out of my classroom, going into high school and then into college, they'll be able to look at everything through the lens of the gospel and ask the hard questions. And I really like digging into their personalities and see how they are wired and how God has gifted them. So last year I was given the opportunity to teach community leadership for 8th grade only. We keep it at a small ratio of students to teacher. We have 15 students this year, and I am super excited to teach them every day practical application of not only leadership principles but also good character, what it looks like for a Christian to lead in a culture that is not Christian. I also really like to tap into their strengths. Kids at this age, as all human beings do, they actually focus on their weaknesses more than their strengths. I really like to point out what are they strong at, how can they use that for the kingdom moving forward. I really teach from the viewpoint of the end. Their end for me is not college, it's their life. What are they going to do with their life? What has God purposed them to do? Not just with the next educational step, but also what's He prepared them to do for many years from now. And to realize that all work is worship. And so taking whatever they are gifted to do, whether it's plumbing, electrical, singing, theater, business world, media, all of those things, taking that and using it for the glory of God, and knowing that all of it is as worship to Him when we're glorifying Him. Every week we have one key leader from the community. We have had professional sports figures, we've had entrepreneurs, we've had ministry giants, educational administrators that have come in, many different kinds of speakers. They come in with a Christian worldview, and they've done such an excellent job with the students, exposing them to different professions, also how to be a Christian in that industry. They're always very transparent and open about their career, how they got there, their mistakes, their failures, how we can learn from them. And so I've really appreciated the perspective that they bring in, because it's very relevant to our culture today, and these people are actually making it happen. I've found that kingdom education is important because, again, we are to reflect the image of God, and that's who we are. We're image bearers. And so in this world that we have found ourselves in, God is not falling off His throne because of all of the sin and all of the destruction around us at this time. But these students specifically are called for such a time as this, and so I feel it's really important to remind them of that, if they've never even heard of that before, to understand where they are in God's story and that He's writing it.